192.
What the fuck?
This Saturday, we're getting ready, baby. I'm getting all, like I said, whenever I do these quick picks, man, I'm getting amped up. I'm getting riled
down,
up. Dude. Here. I used to love the WEC. The bantamweight division has always been my favorite. Let's get that out there. Main event Saturday night. Guess what division it's in? It's in the bantamweight division. So I'm all riled up, baby. In this video, I'll be covering basically the main event. I'll do a quick rundown of the other fights, but I'm just basically talking about the main event here. Sugar Sean O'Malley, the #1 contender. Never beat anybody in the top 10, but he is #1. Figure that one out.
Well, he beat Piotr Jan, who's ranked
versus
#1.
Versus the reigning defending champion, Aljamain Sterling. Aljo. Breaking all the records, baby. Most bantamweight title defenses in UFC history. 16-1. Sugar Sean going into this fight. His only loss is to Chito Vera. That was a weird fight. Versus Sugar... Sugar Sterling. No. I'm only kidding. It's Aljo Sterling. Aljo. 23-3. 2 split decisions. And that weird flash knockout to Marlon Moraes, who lost like his last 30 fights. So, yeah, that's Saturday night. It's an interesting headliner. There's a lot to talk about here. What I just said. If you look at Sugar's record, he's 16-1. When he got into the UFC, when he first, he came off to the Contender Series. Welcome to the Sugar Show. We were all. I mean, don't lie. You're even if you've come and gone, you're his fan. You're not his fan anymore. You enjoyed that. I mean, let's be honest. He's a finisher. I mean, he's got 11 knockouts. He's got pretty. He's crafty. He's got a lot of crazy hits. He's got a lot of crazy ways to get there. Let's put it that way. And most of the time, these veterans even don't see these shots coming. He's unpredictable. And that's what Sterling's going to have to deal with on Saturday night. The unpredictability of Sugar Sean. But back to what I was saying about his record. After the Chito loss, I mean, he's beaten cans. I mean, granted, Thomas Almeida used to be a contender. What was he? I forgot what he was in. LFA before that? RFA? I mean, it had a bunch of different names. Coming in to the UFC, he was a destroyer. Not so much when he met Sugar Sean in that fight. And the guys he beat after that, I mean, Chris Montino? What the hell's his name? He's not even in the UFC anymore. That guy with the green hair. I can't even pronounce this other guy he beat. It was a performance of the night, but still. Pedro Munoz was an accidental eye poke and a split decision to Piotr Jan. That's how you get a title shot? I mean, I get it. He's got a lot of finishes. 8-1. But still, I mean, he's never really beaten anybody in the top 10. Any serious wrestlers. Let's put it that way, which I'll be getting to. Any serious grapplers in the top 10. Piotr Jan, that fight was... Piotr Jan's losing all his fights. I mean, there was a time when I'm like, when he held the title, I'm like, no one's beating this guy. And now he's losing every fight. He might leave the UFC. Sugar Sean beat him, split decision. Could have kind of went either way. That's how you get a title shot these days. They call it Dana White privilege. It is. Sterling, he's been defending the title. He's been on a constant pace of defending the title. And then they throw him right back in here to fight Sugar Sean, who's really not even a #1 contender in my eyes. Yeah, you beat the #1 guy, but barely. And who else did you beat to get there? You got these guys clawing to the top like Dariush. Like, I always go back to George Sotiropoulos. What was he, on an 8-fight win streak? I always go back to these guys clawing to the top. Sugar Sean beats a couple cans. He's got a fun name. He's got a lot of followers, millions of followers. He's got pink hair. Welcome to the Sugar Show. I smoke weed. I play video games. And I dress like Michael Jackson. And I get a title shot. So, whatever. I'm going to be tuning in. You're going to be tuning in. We're all going to be tuning in. And don't get me wrong. Sugar Show is exciting. O'Malley's a lot of fun when he gets in there. Most of the time, he's putting people out. Is that going to happen on Saturday night? I don't think so. Sterling, besides the split decision losses, which could have went either way, and that flash knockout to, what's his name, Marlon Moraes, former World Series of Fighting lightweight champ, right? Like anybody cares. Since then, he's got on an impressive win streak. 9-fight win streak. I always think of that Sandhagen submission, man. When he locked up Sandhagen in that fight, oh my God. Put him away. But let's be honest. Sterling is not a knockout artist. Can he get you on the ground, finish you with some ground and pound? Maybe. Most of the time, he's looking for submissions. I think he's got 8 submissions. 23 wins, 3 losses, 8 by submission, 11 by decision, 3 by knockout, which I don't think any of those were in the UFC. No, they weren't. So, what do you think he's going to do on Saturday night with Sugar Sean? If you watch his lead-up videos, I didn't watch too many of them. He's grappling. He just out-grappled Cejudo in most of that fight. Cejudo's a great grappler. Granted, he had some time off. He retired. He came back. Sterling beat him. Split decision. Nothing to write home about, but he retained his title, and he notched that most consecutive UFC bantamweight title defenses. So he put his name in history there. And that's what he's going to do on Saturday. He's going to stick to his grappling. He's going to go to his wrestling. He's a lot bigger. He's talking about going to the featherweight division after this fight. His boy Marab's probably going to take the title after that. And what's interesting about Saturday is striker versus grappler. I just seen they posted that clip of O'Malley versus Gomi. He locked that guillotine up pretty good. I mean, you can't sleep on O'Malley's grappling. He does have some crafty submissions, and he does have some good groundwork. You can't sleep on that. Sterling, though, he's been there. He's fought higher level competition in these fights than O'Malley has. He is the reigning defending champion. He's beat Petr Yan in the revenge fight, the comeback. He beat him. Even though it was a split decision, he won that fight. TJ Dillashaw, nothing to write home about. Henry Cejudo, former champ, he beat him. Jimmy Rivera, Pedro Munoz, Brett Johns. These are all really good guys in the bantamweight division. Before that, he was beating Renan Barão. Remember that guy? And I just think the level of competition Sterling has faced way surpasses anything O'Malley has seen in the octagon. Yes, he's beat Petr Yan. Doesn't matter. Petr Yan's not the same as he used to be. Split decision doesn't really give you a title shot, but for some reason here it does. I can understand why Sterling's a little upset with this fight. I think he's going to beat the shit out of O'Malley. He's going to ground and pound him. Can we see a flash knockout like in the Marlon Moraes fight when he knocked out Sterling? Yeah, you could see it. Is it going to happen? Probably not. So that's what we're going to see on Saturday. I think Sterling's going to retain his title. I think he's going to use his groundwork. He's going to be too much for O'Malley. O'Malley hasn't fought 5 rounds. What was that? Petr Yan? No, that was 3 rounds, I think. But it's going to be too much. Sterling's too big. His grappling's too heavy. His submissions are going to be there. He's going to ground and pound. If he doesn't get the finish, which I think he will, I think he's going to wear O'Malley down. I think he's going to put him away. I don't think it's going to go the full 5. I think he's going to be too much. He's going to want to make a statement in this fight. He's going to take some time off after this. He's going to go to the featherweight division. Great main event. That's how it's going to end.
He hit him clean with that left hand twice. Now Nuzo's been dropped 3 times. That is good night, Irene. That is freaking brilliant. How good is this?
The rest of the card, you know, is anybody really that excited about the rest of the card? Ian Gary, I guess. I like him fighting. What's his name? Shit, I forgot that guy's name he was fighting. I have no idea. But anyway, he's fighting Neil Magny. Oh, he's fighting Jeff Neal, Hands of Stone. Is anybody... I mean, let's look at the co-main real quick, actually. Wei Li is going to retain her title. I don't even need to talk about this fight, really. It's going to be fun to watch, but I think Wei Li is going to be too much. She's going to defend her title, and she's going to close the chapter there. Nothing to write home about on that one. Does Lemos have a shot? Yeah, she does. Does she have great, accurate striking? She does. Does she have knockout power? Yeah. Wei Li's not going to be there for it. She's going to beat her. She's going to retain her title. Oh, my God. How could I forget? My boy, Chris Weidman. Man. I look back at Chris Weidman's career when he was coming up. Man, he was unstoppable. That win streak before he beat Silva, he was something to watch. You know, I'm a New Jersey guy. He's a Long Island guy. We're close to each other here. I've always been a Chris Weidman fan. I remember watching that Anderson Silva fight alone by myself when he won the title. Man, it was crazy. He defended that title against Anderson with that horrific leg break. He defended it again against Machida. I love that fight. Then he beat Vitor Belfort when he was coming off TRT. He had a lot of great title defenses. Luke Rockhold was too much for him in that fight. He gassed Luke Rockhold. You don't want Luke Rockhold on top of you. He's a big dude. So anyway, after his title defenses, he lost the title. He's been on a losing streak, man. He barely won that fight against Kelvin Gastelum. He got knocked down in that fight, which I thought it was over. And it's kind of hit or miss, you know. He's more losses than wins. Then he had the exact same leg break that happened with him in the Anderson Silva fight against Uriah Hall. So he's coming back. Is he the same? No, he's not. Former middleweight champion. Yeah, we get that. Am I a Chris Weidman fan? 100%. Love Chris Weidman. Love watching him perform. His record isn't too terrible either. You know, he's not one of those guys that just keeps fighting and losing. I mean, he does have a lot of losses. He's 15-6. He's trying to get that win back, trying to take an easy fight. Brad Tavares could go either way. I don't know what Chris Weidman's going to show up. Hopefully, we get a decent Chris Weidman in there. We could celebrate a victory if you're a fan of his, and hopefully we get that on Saturday night. Ian Gary. Neil Magny's a big spoiler. I wouldn't sleep on Magny. He's confident. He took this fight on very short notice. Ian Gary, he hasn't really been tested yet. Neil Magny has fought everybody in that division. I think he's going to give Gary some problems. Gary might be a little overconfident. Is he fun to watch? Is he undefeated? Yeah. Does he want to make his name like Conor McGregor did? Yeah, of course. Does he want a big name? Yes. Don't sleep on Magny. Magny spoils the parties. He beats these guys. What should worry Gary in this fight is he took the fight on short notice. He's confident. Gary called him out. Magny wants vengeance. He wants redemption. Vengeance. Redemption. What movie is that from again? I don't know if you guys answered that in the last video. So don't be surprised if Magny spoils the party here on Saturday night. I'm going to go with... I think I'm going to go with Magny on this fight and Gary. Could go either way. I'm not sure what the odds are, but I think I might go with Magny on that one. I think he's going to spoil the party. And last but not least, I went in a little weird order there. I don't think that's the lineup order. I think Weidman's opening the card. But in the middle there, Chito Vera. Think about Chito. He beat O'Malley, fought way harder competition, and he's on the undercard while O'Malley's fighting for the title based on the name. Insane. But that's how MMA politics goes sometimes. I was eating those souffles a little while ago for breakfast. I think I'm having diarrhea now from eating those. Pedro Munoz is crisp. Chito's crisp. Both are finishers. Difference here might be Pedro's ground game. His boxing's a little more crisper. Chito's unpredictable. He's a finisher. Could go either way. I say it's a pretty even fight. I might give this fight to Pedro on this one. After Chito's last loss, he's a slow starter. Could go either way. I might take Pedro Munoz on this. I do like Chito. I like both guys. It's going to be a fun fight regardless. That's why it's on the main card. So yeah, that's my wrap-up. I hope Weidman wins. I think Pedro Munoz is going to win that fight, but Chito could finish him at any point in that fight. Don't sleep on that. I'm going to pick Munoz on that one. Ian Gary, I think Neil Magny might spoil the party there. Ian Gary's still fun to watch. He's undefeated. Hopefully his O doesn't get lost in there on Saturday night because Magny's an O-taker. Co-main event, Wei Li. She's going to defend her title. Main event, Sterling's going to be too much for O'Malley. O'Malley's fought all the cans. Sterling's fought all the non-cans. He's going to break the records. He's the defending champion. Man, I'm amped up. Hopefully you're amped up. Thanks for watching. Straight from the static. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment.
He does a fantastic.
Let's get amped up, baby.
goodness.
Oh